All right, so Marino Sports Daily, we're back with NFL Week 6 picks. We have our first guest. This is TD Ierlan. He's a professional lacrosse player. He spent some years at Albany, Yale, and Denver in college. Now he currently plays for the PLL Redwoods. And TD is a very avid Vikings fan, which we'll talk about later on. But TD, how you doing? Are you excited or what?
I'm good. Long time listener, first time picker. So yeah, no, thanks for having me on, Rocco. It's nice. I've trained Rocco for man, what,
Long
seven, eight
time.
years now. Yeah, it
Long
adds
time.
up quick. It makes me feel old when all
Yeah.
these guys that I trained when they were younger graduating college, but it's fun to get on and talk some sports.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, how can you not love football?
Absolutely. All right. So for the first game, we got Thursday night football. I'll let you go first. It's Eagles at New York Giants. I don't really know what's going to go with this game. Obviously, Jackson Dart's been playing a lot, but what are your thoughts on this one?
So I currently live in Philly for my own health and well-being. I like the Eagles. I
Yep.
think the Giants have a lot of like promise. They're really young. Their D line's loaded,
Mhm.
but the Eagles coming off a loss, like that team wins, and
Yeah.
everyone there's all these problems, and basically their problems is they have so many weapons on offense they can't get all of them the ball enough to keep them
100%.
happy. But their team is unbelievable. Like
Yeah.
they lost a crazy game last week. They just and I'm a big Jalen Hurts guy. I mean, the guy wins wherever he
Mhm.
goes. So, I mean, initially, those are my thoughts. Thursday night division games, it's always closer than people think, but I think it's hard not to go with the Eagles here after a loss.
I agree. I'm going to go with the Eagles. I think I saw a thing the other day. They had a player owned, or I think it was Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, and Saquon Barkley had like a player run meeting. Obviously, like they're all frustrated, like you said. They have a lot of weapons. Everybody wants the ball, but I think that the one thing that happened to them last week, they only gave Saquon Barkley the ball 9 times, and he's supposed to be your best player on that team, running the ball and sets up play action for them. So I'm going to go with the Eagles as well. I think it'll be tight, but then I think the Eagles are going to pull away at the end.
Yeah, just too many guys.
100%. And that defense, I mean, against the young guy, even though it's at New York, I still think that the Eagles are going to have a big crowd there. So first game going into Sunday, we have Denver Broncos at the New York Jets. I'll kick this one off. I think I got the Broncos in this one just because I think it is at home for the Jets, and I think they've been struggling a little bit. And Justin Fields has found his rhythm a little bit, but then he got hurt. I just think Denver is just really, really talented with Bo Nix and the backfield they have with RJ Harvey and J.K. Dobbins, and that defense is always really, really good.
Is that game in London?
Actually, I think you're right. That might be the London game.
I just knew it because my Vikings have been playing in
Yeah,
London the last 2 weeks, and it has like by Sunday was really awesome last week after
yeah.
they won, and terrible the week before.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think the Broncos with Sean Payton are great, and I think they handle everything really well. Like they just went from Philadelphia straight over to London. They didn't have to do all the extra travel of going back to Denver. They're just really dialed in. Their Patrick Surtain
Oh
is
yeah.
unbelievable,
Mhm.
and I think the Jets are kind of like a doomed organization, unfortunately. Like the the Broncos always are competitive. Like you don't see them in a slump for a while, and they just have so many weapons. J.K. Dobbins looks great. Cortland Sutton's really good. Troy Franklin's
Yeah.
like, and Evan Ingram. Like they just have a lot of guys. I think, and their frontage is really good both ways too. So I'm gonna go with the Broncos there. I think it's hard to pick the Jets over just about any team
Yeah.
right now.
You are right, though. I did miss that. That is a London game, so that'll be a 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time start. So now moving on, we have Arizona at Indianapolis. I think in the past couple of years, this is probably not a good game, but I think this year this is going to be one of the best games of the weekend. I really like what the Colts are doing this year. I like how Daniel Jones has kind of revamped his career, I guess you could say, since his time with the Giants. I really like their defense a lot, and their offense is probably one of the most underrated in the league. They have Jonathan Taylor, they have a great group of receivers, Donnie Mitchell, Josh Downs, and Michael Pittman. So I'm going to go with the Colts here just because I really like what the Cardinals got with their offense and how they've been playing, but I think they got a lot of injuries, and I like the Colts here.
I think the Cardinals definitely keep it close. They seem to play either up to the level of their opponent or down.
Mhm.
So I think they'll keep it close. I just think like the Colts offensive line is really good, and the Colts team, they're kind of the team so far this year, which I actually think holds a lot of merit in the NFL. If they're better than a team, they kind of just walk all over them, and like they're I think they're very good. And Daniel Jones is in a position to be really successful.
Mhm.
He went to the quarterback whisperer Kevin O'Connell and he
Yeah,
fixed them, and he's good to go now. Jonathan Taylor is having as good of a year as anyone right now. He's probably like running back wise the leading candidate to be like first team All Pro
I agree.
through 5 weeks. So yeah, they're. I think the Cardinals will keep it close, kind of like how they did against the Seahawks. I think they just find a way either to let a bad team into the game or on a good team to keep it close.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, Jonathan Taylor's probably in the running right now for running back one or two in fantasy. So,
Yeah.
all right. So now we have the Los Angeles Chargers at the Miami Dolphins. I'll let you start with this one. I don't really know. I think it's the Chargers here, but I'll let you go first.
Yeah, one of my best friends is a diehard Dolphins fan, so he's got me like trying to believe in them a little bit, which is tough after last weekend. Chargers are reeling a little bit though. I feel the first 3 weeks they came out were awesome. Obviously, big win against the Chiefs early. That one was that in Brazil? I think that one.
Yeah, I believe it was.
Yeah, so maybe they've come back down to earth a little bit. Um, Dolphins have shown some life, but they're kind of just staying close. I think the Chargers down Amari and Hampton, but they should still be fine. They got really good weapons. Quentin Johnston's
He's
looks
been
great
playing.
this year. He had a tough fumble last week, but I think it's still got to be the Chargers.
Yeah. I agree. It's just tough. I mean, I think since Tyreek Hill's injury, the Dolphins have kind of just I mean, they've always been this whole year kind of been struggling. I think Jalen Waddle's been playing good in his absence, but either both team has some injuries. I know the offensive line for the Chargers has been struggling a lot. I know Herbert got hit a lot last week, so
They
if
had a
the
couple injuries too, like Joe Alt
yeah,
got
Joe
like they
Alt,
yeah, and he was unbelievable. Like
yeah,
at the beginning of the season too, they played someone early and he was awesome. He's like one of the best tackles, and I think if a team has that's a tough position. There's not that many really good ones out there, so the drop off's huge.
yeah. Plus, they already had, I think it's Rashawn Slater. He got hurt before the year even started after signing a huge contract. So
Yeah,
like, he hasn't even played this whole year. So I think I have the Chargers here, but I think that if Miami blitzes like I think they can and get to the quarterback on Herbert, it's going to make them have a harder day, obviously, with injuries on the offensive line and Hampton not being there. So I got the Chargers in this one. But moving on, we got New England Patriots at the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to go with the Patriots here. I actually for a long time as a Ravens fan, I hated Mike Vrabel because he was the head coach of the Titans. But I actually really like him being back at the Patriots. I remember when there was an opening for them this past year. I was like, he's got to be their guy. I mean, he's used to play for them. He won a Super Bowl there. He's got a really good attitude towards that like franchise. And I really like Drake May. So I'm going to go with the Patriots here. I think they're just too much for the Saints right now. I think the Saints have been struggling and they've showed some life up and down, but I just really don't think that they're very good this year.
yeah. I just am in the camp of Drake May. I'm pretty all in on, and I think Vrabel's great too. I think he fits the Patriots organization perfect. He knows. I think there's a big thing with those coaches that he was on those unbelievably successful teams there, and he gets the social dynamic of a team. He gets the community and everything of being there for the Patriots.
Mhm.
And I think he's a really good coach on top of
Yeah.
that. I think the Patriots, they got some guys now. Stefon Diggs looks great. I think the Saints too forever have been a team that kind of like worked around the cap and the salary cap wasn't
Mhm.
really a thing for them because they would just find a way to like
Yeah.
prolong. I think this year is kind of a reset for them. I don't think their quarterback situation is a good one. So I think my take is they'll be trading Kamara and maybe a couple pieces, and they're just going to kind of hit a reset on this year and look to rebuild next year. So I'm going to take an upstart Patriots team that I think's on the rise versus the Saints are pretty stagnant.
I agree with that 100%. I just think, like you said, I mean, the Saints have been since Drew Brees left and that Michael Thomas stuff with his injury and his contract and him not really coming back ever. It's just they're in a tough spot. I think it's time, like you said, to trade some pieces and get some capital back. So now we have a AFC North matchup, the Cleveland Browns at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Joe Flacco just got traded from Cleveland to the Bengals, so he won't be playing. Obviously, it'll just be Dylan Gabriel. And I saw a thing that they haven't even like told Shadur that he's like number two. I still feel like they might be putting him as like QB3. Like I
Yeah.
don't really know what's going on with that, but I think the Steelers have looked good this year. Obviously they've had injuries just like a lot of teams. They've kind of had, I wouldn't say an older team, but if you look, they probably have one of the oldest teams with Jalen Ramsey, DK Metcalf, Aaron Rodgers. So obviously that brings experience and Dylan Gabriel going into Pittsburgh, I think they're going to put a lot of pressure on him, and he doesn't really have a lot of help around him. So I'm going to go, unfortunately, with the Steelers, obviously, because I'm a Ravens fan. It's hard to pick them, but I'm going to go with the Steelers.
I actually think I'm going to go Browns here. The Browns defense is really good. Aaron Rodgers looked great against the Vikings in that matchup. I
Mhm.
just think that line is really tough because they don't need to bring blitzes to get pressure. I mean, Myles Garrett might be the most athletic human of all time. Like he is an animal.
Yeah,
It's so funny when they were looking at drafting him and his biggest concern, people were just saying how, oh, like he has interests outside of football. It's like that guy is fine. He can do whatever he wants. He the basketball highlights of
yeah,
him are absurd.
insane.
So I think the Browns. I think this is a typical AFC North game that like it's going to just be so ugly, close till the end. And I actually think the Brown. I think Quinshon Judkins is really good.
Hmm.
And I think the Steelers are actually. I think the Steelers are better as like a slight underdog than they are
Yeah,
as a slight favorite, just
100%.
because I don't think they're like a Colts where they just destroy bad teams. I think they keep it close kind of with everyone, and I think in one of those division matchups, I'm going to go with the Browns. Just you can pick the favorites all day, but I figure go with the Browns. Like they're kind of frisky.
I like it. So now actually going, I forgot to add to this game late yesterday. Jaguars traded cornerback Tyson Tramble in a seventh rounder to the Browns for cornerback Greg Newsome in a sixth round pick. So kind of just a cute cornerback swap. Newsome has been on the trade block for a long time. I think they put him on the trade block for like 2 or 3 years now. So that's kind of one thing I guess you could add into that. I guess it's just a cute cornerback swap. I don't really know what the point was, especially adding those picks in the end. But
Yeah,
uh,
cornerbacks are tough, but they I feel like the Steelers never throw the ball downfield
no,
ever.
not
Like they
really.
never have. So it's like just keep it in front. And
No, I
aside of like unless DK Metcalf just makes a play and runs for a lot of yards, like I feel like they're
100%.
just dink
So
and dunk.
now we'll move into this game where I think it's actually kind of more towards the underdog. It's Dallas Cowboys at Carolina Panthers. I got the Panthers here. I think that they're kind of due for a game. I think beginning of the year they looked really good. They could fairly roller coaster ride, in my opinion. I really like the way that they're incorporating the running backs like Chuba Hubbard, and I think they got to use them more. And that defense has been playing really good. So. I think it's going to be tight. I think obviously the Cowboys have been scoring a lot of points, but CeeDee Lamb's still out, and that lets JC Horn for the Panthers guard George Pickens, and then everybody else can kind of just flow around it. So I got the Panthers in this one.
I like the Panthers too. I think that division has always been the doormat of the NFL. They'd have the team that's like 7-9 make the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Yeah.
And now what? They would be like 8-9 or 7-10.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think the Panthers are that bad.
No.
I mean, how they beat the Dolphins. Like that team never wins those like crazy games they should. But I'll go with the Panthers. I don't think Bryce Young. I think there's a lot of overreaction. He came in had no help right
Yeah.
away. I actually think he could be a solid quarterback, and he's still kind of working his way through the kinks. I think Tedero McMillan is going to be really, really good. For some reason, if you're just a running back on the Panthers, you're really good.
Yeah.
So whether or not Chuba Hubbard plays, I mean, Rico Dowdle was
Yeah.
unbelievable last week.
Unreal.
So yeah,
Unreal.
I'm gonna go Panthers there. The Cowboys are the Cowboys are one of those teams like when that offense looks good, but they're still a pretty like flawed team. They've just kind of beat expectations. Where I think expectations were they were going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL after that Micah Parsons trade.
Hmm.
So I think they can definitely get up for games, but I think the Panthers will see and kind of overlook.
Yeah, I agree. And going off that point you said about Bryce Young not having help, I mean, they traded everything to get him at the number one
Yeah,
pick. So, like, when you have a rookie quarterback, and obviously when you're already a team that struggles, like, you're gonna be in like I wouldn't say turmoil for a while, but he's going to get some backlash. But you also got to give him help. That's why for me, when they traded all that stuff, it's like you're kind of trading him just to set him up for failure with all like no like room to improve.
Oh,
But
completely. And if you look at the receivers he was throwing to,
yeah,
I mean, those guys would. I mean, Adam Thielen's on the Vikings
Mhm.
now. He was the wide receiver one
Yeah,
last year.
he's never been in his
He's
whole
the
career. Yeah,
Yeah, he was the fourth receiver on the Vikings now.
yeah.
Like last year, he was their guy. Now it's like Jalen Naylor is head and shoulders better receiver than he is.
So, all right, moving on. We have Seattle at Jacksonville. I'll let you start with this one.
This is tough. I think
Mhm.
anytime a team beats the Chiefs, that's
Yeah.
like the darling of the week.
Mhm.
A guy I'm all in on. I think Trevor Lawrence is really good. I think he went to a dysfunctional franchise. Everyone doesn't really like him. And even when you're doing there were the commentators on the Monday Night Football game. He has some mistakes, and definitely to start the drive with taking that 3 yard play and
Mhm.
like losing 40 seconds. But Trevor Lawrence has a crazy stat. He was undefeated in high school, lost like 2 games all of college. I think he is a winner. And I think they do have pieces around him. I think Travis Hunter playing offense, that helps a lot.
Yeah.
Brian Thomas, I'm in the belief of like right now he's played, say, 20 NFL games, and he had a bad start to this year, but still he's played 18, 17 really good NFL games. I don't think he just stinks anymore. So I'm in the camp of he's pretty good. Travis Etienne or
Yeah.
looks good with him again too, and their defense is really good. They some stat they have caused like 14 turnovers right now, and I think that's just a change. As of last year, they had all of 9.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with the Jags here. I think Sam Darnold's had a resurgence. I think the Seahawks' defense is really good. I just would think Darnold still is a gunslinger that could
Yeah.
make a bad decision, and that's tough against a team who forced a lot of turnovers. And
Mhm.
that kicker for the Jaguars has an unbelievable leg. So I think if you turn the ball over, like the Jags are going to come away with points. Um, yeah, so I think the Seahawks are good. I think this is going to be an awesome game to watch,
Yeah.
but
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go with the Jags.
Yeah. I think they have a lot of momentum, obviously, coming off that win with the Chiefs. Obviously, being at home against the Seahawks, that's always a really good game because they're coming from the Pacific Northwest all the way down to Florida. That's going to be
Yeah.
something that changes. But for me, I really like Seattle this year. I just like what they're doing with Jackson Smith and Jigba, Kenneth Walker, Sam Darnold, obviously. But that defense, I just like how they have Devin Witherspoon from Illinois. They got Tariq Woolen. Like, I really like that defense. And I just like, I'm a huge Mike McDaniel guy, or McDonald, sorry,
Yeah.
McDonald. Who got the Ravens? And obviously, I wish like they kept him and stuff and potentially made him their head coach, but he's one of the most the smartest defensive minds in all of NFL. So I think that it's going to be a really, really good game and it's going to be really close. And I think it's going to come down to a field goal or two, kind of like you mentioned. But for me, I got the Seahawks in this one. I just really like Mike McDonald and that defense they have. So
Yeah, that's both defenses are, I mean, really, really good right now. Yeah, I mean that's a tough one to pick too. I kind of just went with
it's
the.
yeah.
I'm really excited on them after the Monday night win.
Yeah. So now moving in, we got the Rams at the Ravens. I'll start this one. I'm going to be biased. Obviously, I never pick against my team. I mean, I'm very loyal, and no matter how much they lose by, I'm still going to pick the Ravens because obviously, like they've struggled a lot on offense and defense this year. I mean, obviously with Lamar not playing this week, it looks like it's going to be Cooper Rush again. And I hope that they use this more as like a running game. I feel like they kind of got to go back to their old ways of just running the football because Cooper Rush obviously can throw the ball, but when you have Derrick Henry in the backfield and one of the better, okay, offensive lines, like you should be able to run the football more than I think he ran it like 10 times last week for like 25 yards. So
Mhm.
doesn't really get it done. And obviously the defense has been struggling really, really bad this year. And I think they're ranked at last in everything. They did make a trade this week. They traded Odafe Owe and I think a sixth round pick to the Chargers for I think it was Alohi Gilman. He's a safety. So he'll be playing, and then they also signed a couple guys to the practice squad this week. So we'll see. I think the Rams have a really, really good offense with Puka and Matt Stafford and Kyron Williams, but I can't really pick against my team. I got to ride with the Ravens.
Yeah, you have to ride with them, but I do think a big bounce back week. Texans are I think the Texans are good. They had a slow
Yeah.
start, so that's a tough game to judge. Also, I think Cooper Rush will be way better. They got to get the run game going, but you're kind of in that. Lamar used to open it so much up. I just find it hard to pick against the Rams on like an extra rest. I don't know. I think the Ravens. This is like a big. If they can just survive until Lamar's back, I think
Mhm.
they go on a run.
Yeah.
But I also had a lot of me just thinks this year's kind of like the Ravens are the 49ers of last year. It just seems like a
Yeah.
season that is doomed from the start. Injuries, a million things. You lose a couple heartbreakers early.
Yeah.
And I think the Rams, after a loss in that extra time, I think I'm going to go with the. I'm going with the Rams. I
Yep.
think the Jared Verse and
Yeah.
Aaron Donald stuff is so funny. I
Yeah.
thought that workout. He is unbelievable too.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Rams here on this. Obviously, you can't pick against your
Yeah,
Ravens.
I can't, but I do like the Rams though a lot. Like I like Matt Stafford. I like
He's awesome. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks. He's awesome.
yeah. So all right. So now we have the Titans at the Raiders. I got a thing from Zoom saying I only have 10 minutes of recording left. So we'll try and bang this out. I don't really know why. I think it says I have to upgrade or whatever. So we'll try and bang this out, but
If it cancels, we can just zoom back in after this.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I got Titans at Raiders. I like Cam Ward a lot. I really like the story behind him, how he was projected to be like a sixth round pick last year
Mhm.
or 2 years ago. Went to Miami, really improved his draft stock. I ended up being the number one overall pick, obviously.
Mhm.
Just that Raiders team around him is really, really bad. I think they signed that left tackle. I don't remember his name for like $60 million, and he was like a backup tackle on like somebody else's team. So they completely overpaid
Was
for
he
him.
on the 49ers? Was that
I
what it
think so,
was?
something like
Yeah.
that. But they completely overpaid for him, in my opinion, just to have a mediocre like left tackle. I really like what the Raiders are doing. I think they got to get the ball to Ashton Genty more. They have Trey Tucker who's playing really good, and they have that Thornton kid on the outside who's a rookie who's playing really good. I think the defense is struggling for them, but I think at home it's going to be hard for a rookie to come in and play against the Raiders. So I got the Raiders in this one.
Yeah, it's tough with the Max Crosby. He's so good. Trying to think. Yeah, I tend to lean Raiders. I think last week was kind of one of those weird NFL head scratchers.
Yeah.
I'm high on Cam Ward, but I think right now he Calvin Ridley hasn't panned out. I think they kind of have two like pretty good running back situation, but I think you'd be better off just letting one of those guys walk
Yeah.
for get a receiver that can open it up. And like really, Manner's been their best receiver for most of the year. I'm in on Cam Ward too. I think I'd like to see him use his legs more. Sometimes I think out of spite, he says like going into week one, he would not like run with his legs. He wanted to show he's like a
Yeah.
pocket, like he could pass the ball, which it's like, dude, you drafted, I don't like
Yeah.
just win. Um, I'm gonna go with the Raiders. I think last week it's gonna be hard if you're gonna rely on wins like
Yeah.
that. I mean, DeMarcado did cost me a fantasy game. I lost by four
Yeah.
points. I picked him up, and
Yeah.
then that 8 point swing, I lost by four. So that was terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's tough to repeat kind of that. I think it's just going to be a tough year for the Titans still, and
I agree.
yeah, so I'm going to go with the Raiders there. I think Crosby will be a lot.
Yeah, I agree. So next we got the Cincinnati Bengals at Green Bay Packers. Obviously, recent news, Joe Flacco was just traded to the Bengals. He'll be starting over Jake Browning this week, but
That's your guy. He's elite.
yeah, he is I love Joe Flacco, but he's really doing the AFC North carousel right now. But for me, that Packers team looks really, really good. I know they lost against the Browns a couple weeks ago, but I think that at home against the new quarterback, still learning the system, I think that they're the youngest roster in the entire NFL. Jordan Love looks good. Those receivers look good. And obviously, Micah Parsons in that defense looks really good. So for me, I think it's an easy one here. Obviously, I think Joe Flacco could come out and play like he usually, like his old self. But for me, I got the Packers in this one. I think they're going to give him a lot of pressure and just force a lot of errors.
Yeah, I think the Packers are they're just a really good franchise, and the Bengals offensive line is like Chase Brown has been a shell of himself because and there's no blocking, and you don't have a quarterback that can really open them up. Uh, I think the Packers and kind of a landslide here. It's tough to come in and no line. Joe Flacco I think will be an upgrade, but he's obviously not mobile.
Yeah.
I think that's it's going to be tough for them to get in a rhythm, and I just the Bengals defense is not good, and I think the Packers are good, and obviously didn't play well against the Browns, and then kind of just let one slip away. The Cowboys game was crazy. When that
Mhm.
was 16-13 at half, they were losing. It was nuts.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna go Packers and a landslide there.
I think it's going to be really tough for them. Just, I think Joe Flacco could be successful for them for the Bengals, but close like short week getting traded there, and the Packers defense being one of the best in the league. It's
Yeah, I
tough.
think they score some points late, but I think the Packers win like 38 to maybe like 20, and the
Yeah.
the Bengals score like a touchdown or two late, but I don't think it's ever that close.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. So moving on, San Francisco 49ers at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know if Brock Purdy's playing this week, but for me, Mac Jones has been playing really, really good for the 49ers. I think that a lot of people have obviously been saying that he's better than Brock Purdy. I think that's a little crazy right now just because Purdy hasn't really played his best and has been hurt a lot. But for me, kind of going back to what we talked about with Daniel Jones revamping his career in Indianapolis, I think Baker Mayfield's revamping of his career in Tampa Bay has been one of the coolest things to watch. Obviously, you saw him get drafted to the Browns, you saw him like work his ass off. But for me, like I think the Buccaneers are just too good in this. I think they got Chris Godwin back, who was slow last week, but I think he's going to be really good this week for them. I think that Baker Mayfield's just playing at another level. Bucky Irving's obviously hurt, but Rashid White looks really good as well, and that defense for Tampa Bay is always really, really tough. So for me, I got Tampa Bay in this one.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you too on all of that. I think the Bucks are one of the best teams in the NFL. I think Baker is playing at an MVP level. It's so early and it's so quick to just jump to those conclusions,
Mhm.
but I mean, he's got so many weapons on the outside. Ibuka's unbelievable. Godwin's only going to get better.
Mhm.
I think it's just hard to pick against the Bucks. They had a terrible start against the Eagles, and that cost them. But ever since that, I think they're just really good.
Yeah,
I like that team a lot. There's not many teams I think I would pick over them in a game, so I'm
yeah.
gonna have to go with them. I think Mac Jones has definitely been good. I think they had a really good game plan last week, but I think that works when you're ahead. I think it's really tough if the Buccaneers are if they have to air it out right now. They're just still beat up. And I think Mac Jones played great. I think the Bucks are going to be too much.
100%. I agree. And then moving on, Sunday Night Football, Detroit Lions at Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, we talked about the Jaguars win over the Chiefs. I think they're going to be playing really pissed off, but I really don't like to pick the Chiefs, but it's tough in this one. I think Detroit looks really good this year. I think they're getting the ball to everybody. Obviously, it was a slow start this year because obviously they have a new offensive coordinator because Ben Johnson went to be the head coach of the Bears. For me, though, I really like Dan Campbell. I really like that defense. Aiden Hutchinson. I like that offense with Jahmyr Gibbs. They're finally starting to get him the ball a lot more. Jameson Williams on the outside with Amara. So obviously Sam Laporta at tight end and Jared Goff's got all those weapons. I think that I got the Detroit Lions in this one.
Yeah, Aiden Hutchinson looks really good too. I think they're still missing Rashee Rice a lot. The Chiefs. I think Xavier Worthy's good. He opens up a lot of things with speed, but he's not really a traditional wide
Mhm.
receiver.
Yes.
And Rashee Rice opens up a lot because Xavier Worthy has a lot of like gadget plays to open him up. But I think Rashee Rice opens up that whole offense. I think
Yeah.
he's unbelievable.
Mhm.
So I think it's just tough to get really gimmicky, and you can only do it so much. And they've looked better since he's came back,
Mhm.
but I just think it's hard to pick against the Lions. Like they lost week one, but I still think they're very good. Aiden Hutchinson looks great.
Yep.
Um, uh, I hate one guy I don't like, Brian Branch. He is like just plays so hard. He has the mouth guard in the top of his helmet. He
Yep.
has mouth, but he just flies around the field.
Mhm.
Um, I think the Lions are really good. They're kind of them and the Bucks. The Bucks are on a short list of teams I think that separate themselves above the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's hard to. I think until Rashee Rice gets back, I think I got to go with the Lions.
Yeah. I agree. All right, so it says we got a minute. I think I can I'm gonna pause it quick and see the recording. All right, so we got a little cut off there, but now we have Monday Night Football. There's two games on this Monday, so it's a little bit different than the last couple weeks. First one, we have the Buffalo Bills at the Atlanta Falcons. TD, you can start us off with this one.
From upstate New York, girlfriend being a diehard Bills fan, I have to go with the Bills.
Yep.
The Falcons, like sometimes they look so good, sometimes they just can't figure it out. When they beat the Commanders, Grand Marcus Mariota was playing quarterback. They looked awesome, and
Yeah.
then like they can just come back. And I feel the Panthers game, it's
Mhm.
two different just ends. I think the Bills are good. They lost to the Patriots, but they kind of always do that. Even when they lost to Mac Jones, I think was it 2 years ago when the Patriots had like 3 or 4 wins.
Yeah,
So
I believe so.
I think the Bills. Josh Allen's unbelievable.
Mhm.
James Cook. I think Josh, what he does is so impressive. They don't have these crazy weapons. You have
No.
like Khalil Shakir is their most reliable
Yeah.
receiver, and he would be a wide receiver 3 on most teams.
Mhm.
So I think the Bills lost coming off a loss. I think they win this game. I just think if they play 10 times, the Bills win seven, and
Yeah.
just having Josh Allen on your team, I think he gets it done.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. And they're definitely going to be pissed about losing to the Patriots and stuff. And I agree with what you said. The Falcons look really good. I mean, they have a lot of good young talent. Obviously, Bijan Robinson, Michael Penix, Kyle
Kyle
Pitts.
Pitts, he
Yeah.
might be. Yeah, he looks good
Like,
this year.
like he looks really good. They're finally getting him the ball, Drake London. But I think that the Bills are getting a lot of guys back this week from injury, I'm pretty sure. I think they're getting that young corner who was on IR back. So I'm gonna go with the Bills as well. Obviously, it's not an easy pick for me, especially with the Falcons being at home. But I really do think that Josh Allen and that team are gonna come out really mad about that loss last week to the Patriots, and I think they're just gonna play a little bit different. So, last Monday night game, the last game of this week 6 slate, we have the Chicago Bears at the Washington Commanders. I'll start this one. I think I'm not 100% sure. I think Jaden Daniels is back this week. Terry McLaurin was also hurt, and I believe he's questionable to play. They've been dealing with a lot of injuries this whole year, obviously. They lost Austin Eckler in week one. He tore his Achilles. That defense has looked decent. Nothing crazy, nothing like even like really bad. I do really like what Ben Johnson has done with that Bears team and their offense. So for me, I'm gonna go with the Chicago Bears just because I really like how I wasn't a fan of Caleb Williams at first. I really wanted the Bears to keep Justin Fields and let him play, but for me, I just like the way they're using Luther Burden, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift. Like they have all these guys. Oh, and Colston Loveland, he got drafted this year. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chicago Bears here.
this is a tough one. Kind of two franchises turning around. The Commanders made the NFC Championship game last year. Think I'm going with the Commanders just because I don't want the Bears to win since they're in
Yeah,
the Vikings division. I think it's a high scoring game. Both two very good offenses. Caleb Williams kind of came in. He had a lot of weapons, but they had no line, so that
yeah,
doesn't really work. And I think Ben Johnson and him, the more they go on, he's going to be better. But
mhm,
I think Jaden Daniels is so good, and
yeah,
they have Debo Samuel's look great for them. Running back wise, I think they kind of have the system where any running back can look good
yeah,
because Jaden Daniels takes so much pressure off of the run game and he opens things up that you can't commit to stopping him.
mhm,
Or you can't commit to stopping the run because he is so good with his legs.
yeah,
Terry comes back. I think that helps a lot too. I think Terry's great. And defensively, they've been kind of hit or miss, but I
yeah,
think they're one of those teams that they play really well with the lead. And I think that opens them up a lot more offensively. I think in the Falcons, they started down early and then they
mhm,
were just trying to catch up and not having Jaden Daniels hard. So I think a lot of it last year is the Bears are going to be really hungry for revenge, kind of with last year that kind of changed the trajectories of their seasons. But
yeah,
I still got to go with I think the Commanders just because I
Yeah.
don't want the Bears to be
Yeah.
good because if the Bears are good, the Lions and the Packers are already good, and then the Vikings just like we can't be
Yeah.
the bottom of the
Yeah.
of the division. So I'm gonna go with the Commanders. Shout out to Ryder Garnsey, big Commanders fan.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
I'll go there to make him happy.
Nice. All right, cool. And then obviously that's the last games of this week, but for bye weeks we have the Minnesota Vikings and the Houston Texans. Obviously, TD, you're a huge Vikings fan, so I'll let you talk a little just key points of what you think so far this year, what you're looking forward to, and what you think of the quarterback situation, as everyone always
Yeah,
kind of wants to
yeah. I
know.
have a lot of takes here. So starting with the season overall, being 3-2 right now after where I thought we were going to be 3 quarters into the NFL season when they played the
Mhm.
Bears. I would take 3-2. We're kind of, this is my life in a nutshell. The Vikings are probably the best team at drafting receivers in the last 30 years. Like
Yeah.
they've just, Randy Moss, Chris Carter, Stephon Diggs, Adam
Mhm.
Thielen. I mean, Percy Harvin, his rookie year was
Yeah.
unbelievable. Obviously, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, they are unbelievable drafting receivers. We never have a quarterback. If we draft an early quarterback, it's like Christian Ponder. It
Yes.
never works
Yeah.
out.
Yep.
And then we're always in QB influx because we'll revive these QBs for a year. So Brett Favre had maybe his best year ever,
Yes.
outside of when he won the Super Bowl. Comes to the Vikings, almost make it to the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold comes, revives his career. We're just kind of an influx, but we can't draft a quarterback. And right now, unfortunately, I think Carson Wentz gives us a better chance to win,
Mhm.
but there's no future with that because then you're just going to try to find the next Carson Wentz.
Yes.
And if Carson Wentz plays well, like you're a playoff wild card team and you're not really making that big of a splash. So are you trying to just make the playoffs or do you want to win a Super Bowl? Because
Yeah.
winning a Super Bowl, you need a young guy, rookie quarterback contract to win with all the weapons you have. Getting Christian Darrisaw helps a lot, and JJ didn't have that. My biggest issue with JJ McCarthy, and JJ McCarthy's a winner. He's won everywhere he's
Mhm.
gone. Everyone talks about how much of a competitor is, how much of a leader is. My fundamental issue with that is when your NFL quarterback, who's the most important part of your team, I don't want them describing his best attributes as like leader, competitive, all these things. I want him to be really good at throwing the football because that
Yeah.
is a very important part of playing
Mhm.
quarterback. Is like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, like Lamar, all these guys are great leaders in their own regard, and they're all really competitive. You wouldn't be in the
Yeah.
NFL if you weren't, but they are unbelievably talented.
Yes.
JJ McCarthy, like in it got talked about Michigan. It's like he won a game where he didn't pass the ball in the second half. Like I think he
Yeah.
passed the ball 3 times,
Yeah.
and like it looks like it's moving really fast for him. And I think some of that could be the offensive line was really beaten up when he was in there.
Mhm.
But like everything just looks really hard.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think even with Darnold last year until the last 2 games of the year, everything looked really easy.
Yes.
And I think when you have so many weapons on the outside, and he didn't have Addison when he played, but there's just a lot of it where it's like, I don't want your best attributes to be like all of these like non-measurables. I want you to be able to throw a football really good. I
Yeah.
want you to be able to be athletic. So
Yeah.
that's probably my biggest qualms with him. And it's still early. Like, I don't think he'll be the biggest bust the NFL has ever seen. I don't know if he's a franchise quarterback. I think he's probably somewhere in the middle. Like, I think he'll be pretty good. I don't think it's
Yeah.
as bad as it's been, but that's just my biggest problem with seeing him getting to being able to have the Vikings be serious contenders is I don't
Mhm.
know how good he is skill wise at playing quarterback.
Yeah.
So that's
100%.
and
I,
you have
I
the
agree. Yeah.
proof. Like, yeah,
I think
I don't
he's in
know.
a good spot though. Like I feel like he if all the rookies that got drafted that year he was drafted, he was probably in the best spot with obviously Kevin O'Connell and Justin Jefferson and that defense is always really good. So like I think it's more so of them not rushing him, in my opinion. I
Yeah.
think like obviously Sam Darnold played really good last year and JJ got hurt, so it was an easy decision. And I think I wouldn't say this year they rushed it, but I almost wouldn't have minded like maybe them like getting a Jameis Winston or a Carson Wentz or
How
Joe.
could you not like Jameis? Jameis will be entertaining.
Yeah,
Like we're gonna sling
exactly.
it.
Like get him like somebody to help him mentor him a little bit. Like I feel like you need some of those guys that like you said win a lot in college. They've kind of already expected that. And when they lose, it's kind of like harder to come back from. And I feel
Yeah.
like for a young guy that's learning a lot, and like you said, it's coming at him really fast. I think you need somebody to help him slow it down, and I think Kevin O'Connell is one of those guys that can help him too. So,
Yeah, I think to close on it, unfortunately he had that injury last year,
hmm.
which so he couldn't kind of have that experimental year where it's like you kind of play him, like maybe ease him
Yeah,
into it in the end of the year. Because now, say this year goes up and down, like he doesn't show that much promise, or he maybe we miss the playoffs, but he shows
yeah,
promise at the end, like the last 2 games of the year. It's like, all right, well now he's on year three, and it's like you have these guys. I mean, Justin Jefferson has had QB purgatory for his whole
yeah.
career.
He
Like he
really
really
has.
hasn't had and that's why I think he's the best receiver in the NFL. He puts up all these numbers, and it's like Jamar Chase has Joe Burrow. Like
Yeah,
he's had him for the bulk of his career. It's like Jamar Chase is unbelievable too, right? Puka Nakua is great. He
yeah,
has Matthew Stafford. I mean, for half of he's Justin Jefferson's had Nick Mullins, Josh Dobbs. Like
yeah,
his career is just QB purgatory, and even Kirk Cousins is a backup now at Atlanta.
yeah,
Kirk is his best quarterback, and he's not close to the guys. So I just think JJ's in such a system where it's like he has Hawkinson, Addison, even Naylor's good, Jefferson obviously,
mhm,
Jordan Mason, Aaron Jones has two good running backs. A defense that takes the ball away a lot makes it easy
yes,
on him. So if it doesn't work in this system, like unfortunately, I think you just have to move on.
yeah,
But if there's the promise and like things slow down, then maybe you can see it working out. I just think it's like I just want the Vikings to have an answer by the end of the year. And if we have to take another shot, like I'm okay just taking shots because
yeah,
like you get a Jaden Daniels that can change your team. If like Jaden Daniels is on the Vikings, like I think they're competitors, right?
100%.
And you could say that like it's a shame the Jags are good because I was really big on like a good like Jaguars get rid of Trevor Lawrence, let him come to the
Yeah,
Vikings,
yeah,
and I think they'll be great. Like
yeah.
so, yeah,
I
that's
agree.
kind of my take on it. Yeah, sorry, it's a really long-winded
No,
answer.
that's all
It's
right.
been driving me crazy.
Yeah. No, but no, I agree with you. I think it's going to be really cool, and obviously thank you a lot for coming on and doing these picks, and we'll have to see how the Vikings do after obviously the bye week and getting some guys back from injury. So but that's it for our Marino Sports Daily NFL Week 6 picks. Obviously, TD, thank you, like I said, and hopefully maybe we'll get you on another time, maybe do some college or something like that, and we'll do something down the line.
Yeah, definitely. Would love to come back on. Thank you for having me, Rocco.
All right. It's cool.